Photoshop AI, Generative Fill. Welcome to AI Literacy Day. Today I'm going to show you how to use Adobe Photoshop's powerful Generative Fill feature. This AI tool lets you add, expand, or remove elements in your images with simple text prompts. By the end of this video, you'll know how to transform your photos and designs using AI without complex editing skills. First, open Adobe Photoshop. You'll need a Creative Cloud subscription with the latest version of Photoshop to access Generative Fill. This feature was introduced in mid-2023 and is constantly being improved. Let's open an image to work with. I'm using this landscape photo, but you can use any image you'd like to modify or enhance. To access Generative Fill, you can find it in the Edit menu under Generative Fill or through the toolbar. It's usually represented by a wand icon with stars or dots. First, you need to make a selection of the area you want to modify. I'll use the lasso tool to select this empty area of sky. You can use any selection tool you're comfortable with, rectangular marquee, quick selection, or even the object selection tool. Once you've made your selection, activate Generative Fill. A panel will appear where you can enter a text prompt describing what you want to add. I'll type "fluffy clouds at sunset" to add some interesting elements to our sky. The prompt should describe what you want the AI to generate in that selected area. Now, click Generate or Apply, and watch as Adobe's AI creates content based on your prompt and seamlessly blends it with your existing image. Photoshop typically offers multiple variations, so you can choose the one that works best for your project. Now let's look at removing unwanted objects. I've opened this image with a distracting element I'd like to remove. I'll select the object using a selection tool. For more complex objects, the Object Selection tool works great. Just draw a rough box around it and Photoshop will find the edges. After making the selection, I'll activate Generative Fill again. This time, I can either leave the prompt empty, which tells Photoshop to fill based on the surrounding content, or I can type something specific like "Continue the background seamlessly." Watch how the AI analyzes the surrounding area and fills in the selection with content that matches the rest of the image. It's much faster and often more realistic than the traditional clone stamp or content-aware fill tools. Another powerful use of Generative Fill is expanding your canvas beyond the original image boundaries. Let's say we want to turn this portrait orientation photo into a landscape for a website banner. First, I'll expand the canvas using the Canvas Size option in the Image menu. I'm adding extra space to the sides of my image. Now I'll select these empty areas on both sides, or I can select them one at a time for more control. In the Generative Fill panel, I'll enter "Continue the beach scene naturally" to extend our image. Amazingly, Photoshop's AI understands the content of our image and extends it in a logical way. This is incredibly useful for creating wider compositions from existing photos or adjusting images to fit different aspect ratios. Now let's get creative. Generative Fill can transform elements in your images in imaginative ways. I'll select this object and use Generative Fill to completely transform it. In the prompt field, I'll type something like "Transform into a futuristic hovering version made of glass and chrome." The more detailed your prompt, the better results you'll get. Look at that transformation. The AI has understood both the shape and function of our original object and reimagined it according to our prompt. This is where you can really let your creativity shine. Here are some tips for getting the best results with Generative Fill. First, make precise selections. The cleaner your selection, the better the AI will understand what you want to modify. Second, be specific in your prompts. Instead of "add mountains," try "add snow-capped Rocky Mountains with pine trees at the base." Third, use layers. Always work on a duplicate layer so you can easily adjust opacity or mask parts of the generation if needed. Fourth, try variations. If you don't like the first result, generate alternatives or slightly modify your prompt. And finally, remember that lighting and perspective matter. For realistic results, describe elements that match the lighting and angle of your original image. Generative fill is revolutionizing how we edit images, making complex manipulations accessible to everyone. It's not just a time saver, but also a creativity booster, helping you visualize possibilities you might not have thought of. Thanks for watching this AI Literacy Day tutorial. For more guides on creative AI tools, check out our other videos.